Is that the same experience?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not on Twitter myself, to be fair, but I do have access through the RFL referees account, so I do take a look sometimes. But don't get me wrong, I'm not going to seek out comments particularly. So in fairness, really, in terms of my own social media and stuff, where my own sort of friends and people message me, then yeah, it's been overwhelmingly positive. There's no doubt about that. I think the worst I've probably seen is indifference, which is absolutely fine. And I kind of get the view when people say, well, it's irrelevant. It is irrelevant in many ways. And that's what I said in the podcast, that it is irrelevant and it's all about what I do on the field in terms of my job. But I think the message has been pretty well received. So I'm happy about that, really.
Is that what you expected, or weren't you quite sure what to expect?
I wasn't quite sure. I think I have seen reaction to other things on social media, and I've seen a bit mixed bag of stuff, which is, you know, some of the negativity surprised me perhaps, but I think generally speaking, in those instances, most of the comments have been generally positive. But I think from what I've seen today, I've seen very, very few negative comments, to be honest. So, yeah, a little bit surprised that actually there were a few more, but yeah, really delighted that generally speaking, it's been positive. And to be fair, it is what I expected. But frankly, it's no one's business except my own. And
exactly, yeah.
Straight people don't have to make an announcement that they're straight. So I think, you know, I shoot myself in the foot by saying that in some respects, because it's like, well, why have you done it at all then? Well, you know, it took a long time to get comfortable with my own skin, and you know, I think that's part of it. You know, I've had a couple of approaches in the past by media doing other interviews, and I didn't necessarily want to do it at that time, or I didn't necessarily think that the platform was perhaps the right one. I didn't want it to be a coming out story, and part of the reason for me choosing the sports podcast was that I followed that podcast. I started to follow that podcast in the last 12 months anyway, and listen to it. And it's, you know, by and large around people's careers and what they've done. And by the way, you know, they are gay, and this is their story. That, you know, and it wasn't for me a big revelation. It shouldn't have been a big revelation, and I don't think for most people it will have been today. It perhaps is a confirmation for some, and for others it's just what they already knew anyway. I think I wanted to sort of speak a little bit, perhaps, about the abuse that I've received and I've heard, and I suppose there's an element of that. And I started working on the RFL's Inclusion and Diversity Working Group following the recent appointment of the Inclusion Board, and so I'm doing a little bit of work around that. And I think it's perhaps better to have a little bit more of a public position on it, and that comes from a stronger position when you can speak from personal experiences.
It must be good to sort of, was it a case of getting it off your chest, or, I mean, it's obviously not bothered you, but is it good now you can get on with your jobs?
Yeah, in some respects it is. I guess the proof is in the pudding when I, you know, go and do a game and I make a decision that people don't like, and that's the nature of the job, you know. But you know, the reaction today has been, you know, really, really encouraging, and I'm confident that, you know, when crowds are back in watching games, then it shouldn't be an issue, and hopefully won't be an issue, and that's pretty much what I wanted.
I was just going to come on to that, the